I thought I would read.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I'm excited because with 2018, two new literary magazines came out from Scars Publications, and because of a recent trip to Antarctica, I have covers of Antarctica for both of these, and I love this cover, The End of the World from cc&d magazine.
My camera.
I think, the reflectiveness of the water is just so incredibly cool. It was just really mind-boggling.
Wow, it is rather.
To see the reflection and how blue and crystal clear the water was.
Because we're not there.
Yeah.
We were more or less would kill it.
Which is something that I had written about in about 20, about 50 years ago. They said, okay, we're not going to be exploiting this any longer.
Right. Australia was part of that. They had the Australian Antarctic Territory.
Yeah.
And they said, we're not going to exploit nothing.
We're not going to exploit nothing. So, because right now sections of cc&d have a performance art section, I would like to share with you the performance art section of cc&d magazine. I will not. This was about women's issues. And this performance art section was it was called Meant to Do Big Things, and it was at the Baha'i Center.
Oh, good.
So I will start with this piece that's called Athena. Ladies and gentlemen, high above the dancing elephants and the clowns driving around in their little cars, honking their horns, high above the lion tamers with their whips and chains, is our main attraction tonight. All eyes turn to Athena, the tightrope walker. See her gracefully step out onto that paper-thin wire, balanced high above everyone else, while all eyes are on her, all without a net. Would you like to see her do a flip, do a spin, touch the rope with her tiny, fragile fingers? Athena will put on the grandest of shows for you. Imagine, if you will, the fear she must feel. With one wrong move, she falls to her death under the mouths of the lions, in between the running clowns. Come, see her perform. Watch her walk. Watch her move. Watch her shake. This is the greatest show on earth.
That's good.
And it's fun to hear the sound effects behind it.
It is,
Be very
it?
loud fun. This one's called A Man Calls a Woman. I did a number of pieces about acquaintance education, and this is one of the sexism pieces. And it starts with a quote from Bob Lamb, and I have to interject and say, Bob Lamb is a researcher, and this was from...
You're interjecting yourself?
I'm interjecting my own poem, yes. That there's a quote from Bob Lamb at the beginning of this, who is a researcher, who had written these articles on women's issues, and he did a search for himself, and he found my poems.
Wow.
And he contacted me and he said, never have I ever been credited with things in poetry. This is phenomenal. And it was wonderful to hear this. This is A Man Calls a Woman, and it starts with a quote from Bob Lamb. Every time a man calls a woman a witch, he reminds her of the slaughter of millions whose independence and medical knowledge threaten male dominance.
Sure.
Every time a man calls a woman a babe, he tells her he thinks of her as his child. Every time a man calls a woman a fox, he tells her she's to be treated like an animal. Every time a man calls a woman a honey, he tells her that she's meant to be consumed. Every time a man calls a woman a doll, he tells her she's something to be played with. Every time a man calls a woman a bag, he tells her she is something to be used. Every time a man calls a woman a girl, he tells her she can't think like an adult. Every time a man calls a woman a lay, he tells her she's no good on her feet. Every time a man calls a woman anything less than a woman, he tells her who's the boss. So, yes, we all know who the boss is, boys. You've done such a good job of telling us.
Sure. I've heard that one before, but it's still true.
It's an older piece. It's somewhat, relevant. Blah blah blah.
Nothing. Wow. Enjoy.
I guess I grabbed all the good stuff.
This one is called Diane talking about her trip to Mexico City.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a trip to Mexico City. I decided that this was going to be the trip I take by myself. This was going to be the trip where I reclaim my independence. This is going to be a trip where I venture out, take on the world, all without the help of a travel companion from a man. So I went there, and really, it wasn't all that frightening as I thought it would be. I needed to learn more of the language, but otherwise I got along just fine. Oh, I got lost once, and the men in the cars kept offering to give me free rides. Hey, baby, you want to do your own private taxi? And I'd have to move away from them. But one guy told me where the bus was, which bus I wanted, so I was fine. But the man that ran the hotel thought it wasn't safe for me. Then he asked me if my parents loved me, if my family loved me, if anyone loved me, anyone at all. Because if anyone did, why would they let me go on this trip alone? And then I was touring, and I went to an old church, and there was a saint. Well, they're considered a saint because their body doesn't decompose.
That's right.
And it's not like religion in America, because they had to put this saint's body in a glass case, because all the people who came to see him would pick off a part of his face as a souvenir.
Yeah.
And then I was touring, and I went back to a nunnery, a place where supposedly all the bad young girls were sent to live out the remainder of their days. And they showed me around on this tour, and they said, here are the crosses that the young women had to carry when they walked around in circles in the courtyard. And these, over here, these are the crowns of thorns the women wore. And I looked at the crosses, the crowns, and they were still covered with blood.
Whoa.
This is how things were, I guess. And they looked at me as strange because I was taking this trip alone. No one in Mexico City understood why I'd want to do this there. No one understood why I wanted to be alone.
Wow.
Strange stories, and it was talking about Mexico City. We were something just from being in India, because, especially as Muslim women, you are covering all parts of your body. When I went there, I had to keep my legs covered. My legs. I couldn't wear shirts. If I had a skirt, I had to have leggings underneath them. I had to have my shoulders covered. And that's not as a Muslim girl, because I did see a Muslim woman in black with a head garb and thing around her face and the scarves and all these layers go swimming fully clothed. And I thought, what? You have a lot of wet black clothes now.
Yeah.
But with that, I wrote one haiku called Cover. Cover shoulders, legs. Women are second class. They cover your spirits. I have to end with this piece for you.
Sure.
Oh, there are two here if you're willing.
Yeah.
This one is called Echo in My Mind.
Okay.
The thoughts of these women, the visions of these women, the legacies of these women, they echo in my mind. I think of the woman who, in her youth, led armies to battle and saved her country. And for this, she was burned at the stake because she was a woman and she had beliefs. I think of the woman who wore a black dress as the bride to her wedding. And no, it's not because she was goth like me, but it's because she had work to do, and she didn't want to get her white wedding dress dirty.
You know what, for next time we need like a small amp.
Well, you can't have an amp in here, I'm sure. And yeah, she had work to do, and she was discovering things scientists could only take for granted now. She was discovering things no man had yet to wrap his head around. I think of the woman who lived in a time when she wasn't allowed a higher education, so she studied for free, and she worked for free, and made amazing scientific discoveries until she escaped Germany days before Adolf Hitler would take her and put her into a concentration camp. She carried a friend's diamond ring while trying to escape in case she needed to bribe someone to allow her to pass. And her drive, her work, gave the world Nobel Prize-winning collaborations, despite the efforts of the Third Reich And despite the patriarchy, all her life, that thought, she's just a woman. She doesn't need to learn. I think of a woman who was the first wave of women allowed to have higher education, but still, she left her communist home, searching for freedom. She started a life on the other side of the earth because after what she learned, she knew that understanding philosophy could really set her free. I think of a woman born not far from my home. She studied music, but wanted to share her stories of life as a woman with the rest of the world. And through her journeys, she stayed with a tribe where prisoners armed with lawnmower blades broke out of their jail cell, while all she could do is wonder, wait, and listen out into the jungle. During her travels, she took mail planes, airplanes for actual sending of mail, while she was dropped off as far as she could before completing her solitary journey to the North Pole. As an artist in residence for NASA, she learned how men, during the Cold War, thought of setting off nuclear bombs on the dark side of the moon. Of course, only a man would think of doing that. But she would be in a protest about the economic exploitation of women and the treatment of women as animals, giving flyers of images of chicks, bunnies, foxes, and pussycats. And she even said that, quote, for every $1 a man makes, a woman makes 63 cents. Now, 50 years ago, that was 62 cents. So, with that kind of luck, it'll be the year 3,888 before we make a buck. And I think about what all these women say, and I think about what all these women mean. And like I say, I could just go on and on and on. But now, I've got a headache.
Let's have a cigarette.
No, my God.
Exactly.